Hi lovies, I'm going to be showing you my base routine. Okay, I have an 8-hour shift. I'm honestly running late, but you know, I don't care.
How about that? How about them apples?
Start off, we're going to do skincare. First, I'm going to be using the Ordinary Rosehip seed oil that's organically cold pressed. Also, don't look at my nails because I painted them literally like 3 days ago, but my curly hair can take it off very easily. When you're putting a bunch of makeup on your face, you need to prep that shit. Do you want dead looking skin? No. You want your skin to look lively and you want to look slay. You want to look. Because of that, you need to be intentional with how you treat your skin. Am I focused? Hi. Next, I'm going in with the Round Lab moisturizer. This one's good, nice and thick. I feel like my skincare routine is friendly for even if you have like oily skin or if you have dry skin. But that's why, like, because I have oily skin, I'm gonna go in with matte finishing foundation. I know that's kind of controversial. I feel like for the past few years, everyone's been doing like the dewy finish. I look like the Gulf of Mexico oil spill every time I do dewy makeup. Like, it just looks a hot fucking mess. By the end of the day, she'll look like she has a dewy finish because the sebum in my face just seeps to the front. So I do go in with matte finish. So I'm going in with the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation in the shade Syracuse. This one gets really messy, hence the look of my old one. It kind of spills out, so I'm trying to be more intentional and a little bit more neat with this one because we don't need that. So I'm going to put some on my index finger. Then I'm just going to put it on my face, all over. I feel like when you do it on a brush, it just kind of looks a little, I don't know. One, the brush just has an overload of product on it, and I feel like then it just feels dirty and your skin will break out because that shit just sits on the brush. You just have a little bit more control on the way it distributes on your face. Now I'm going in with my Makeup Forever Professional Straight 118 brush, and it has this like buffing end, which is really good for blending in foundation. Recently, I've been trying to become a concealer girl, so I don't have to put on like a full face of makeup every single time, but for evenness, I just prefer having something other than concealer on my face. It's not like I have much to cover up, but I just feel like when you put on only concealer, you have to make sure that shit is blended in, because I've seen many of people right here and I'm like, oh my god, it's like the Bermuda Triangle, like bam 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 bam, and I see it and I get you were trying to conceal it but you didn't. So next we're going in with the NARS Soft Matte Complete. This has really good coverage, and I'm going in with the Morphe M167 brush. It's just like a flat end, and this one's really good for spot concealing or just color correction in my opinion. So like any undertones, like the darkness around my eyes, I go in with this first to kind of neutralize it, and I bring it up because this part of my eye always gets dark. I'm like, damn girl. I just apply it under my eyes, and because this is full coverage, just setting her down in the places you need it to, she really will blend out and neutralize any darkness. And this is just like a good base. Like, a lot of people sometimes use actual color corrector like red and green and purple or whatever. Me personally, that stresses me out. That, like, I understand color theory and I understand like when you blend it in, I understand that, but that stresses me out because as someone who, I'm not lazy with makeup, but like I'm not trying to do all that. So I am not going to be doing that. Like, I won't be doing that. Now, to go on top, we're going in with the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer in the shade Granola. And this is also a matte finishing concealer. I really like this one. I just started using it, and I use this on top because this one's a little bit more like, well, it's a liquid base, whereas that one's pot. So this one has a little bit more movability, and I can kind of go over the base concealer and brighten as needed. Plus, since it finishes matte, it's just good for me because my, like, literally my face will become reflective. I'm just using this for brightening, but nothing too bright. I feel like this is pretty close to my skin tone, because I feel like I've said it before, I hate when people use concealers that are like 5 shades lighter than their foundation shade. Like legitimately, I like to do skin match. I want it to have a natural finish. Like, yeah, it'll be brightening, but it's already going to be brightening because your eyes are dark. So the minute you neutralize it, boom, it's bright. Oh my god. Right now, I'm like fake blending it out just a little bit to let it sit, because when you let it sit for a little bit, instead of immediately blending it in, it lets it become a little bit more opaque, and it actually covers the things that you want. I find that when I just put it down and then immediately blend it in, that shit smears, and then spots you wanted to cover are no longer covered. Sorry, I'm like bent over because I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Whatever. Okay, now we're going in with the Makeup by Mario. And yes, I know, I was talking shit in the other video, being like, oh, I prefer Fenty, da 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 da. Well, when I went to get my Fenty, it was sold out, so I had to go to the next best thing, being Makeup by Mario. This is the Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick in the shade Medium Dark. I actually quite enjoy, because before the medium dark was sold out. This one's a little bit, not closer to my shade, but like it's just a better contour color for my skin tone. So I did my cheekbones. I have a natural indentation and a natural shadow on my face. I know some people bring it up higher, but like I don't. So I had a like, what is that called? Real Techniques brush. I don't know, I think my sister also stole that. So now I'm just going in with this Morphe like buffing brush. It's not ideal, but it does what it needs to do. Sometimes I like pinch it a little bit like that so that I get right in the crevice and that it really like hugs my cheekbone. Really gotta contour the hell out of this big ass forehead. If you don't have a large forehead, you don't need to apply as much contour. But I, on the other hand, have quite some real estate on my head, so. Girl, you're doing a lot. Now let's do the nose contour. So I'm gonna bring it up from the eyebrow, bring it down, boom, like so. Do the other side. This other side's a little darker, but see, that's why we have the concealer down, because when you make mistakes, the concealer will catch it, and then it'll all blend beautifully. This is the Made by Mitchell ME11 brush. This is more a precision brush. You don't need to use this brush. You could literally use anything, but the initial blending, like before I blend in my concealer, this is what I do, just so I make sure that the color stays in the place that I want it to. Now I'm going in with the Real Techniques 421 brush, and it kind of has that like end, and I really enjoy this one because I can be so lazy and like nonchalant and mysterious and cool when I blend in my concealer. It takes no effort and it blends it out so cute, and there's like no technique to it. Like I'm just like Let's say you look and you're like, shit, my contour came down a little too far. I do this for like safety purposes. Honestly, growing up, I went to a PWI, and the white girls there and their inability to blend their contour scared the shit out of me. Like, it looked so streaky, and I'm not saying that like in a race specific way, but I'm saying as a white woman or as someone with fair skin, when you do that and you don't blend that in, it's scary. I'm scared. And they never knew how to blend it in, so like for the longest time, I think up until like my sophomore year in college, I did not wear contour because I was like, fuck, if I don't blend it in correctly, I'm gonna look crazy. So I just didn't wear it, and then my face looked flat. That's not the way. You can't live in fear. I'm putting my concealer right here to really sharpen out the contour that I did. I know some people do it with powder, but I feel like with powder, since it's like translucent or like a little bit more of a white undertone, that makes no sense because then it just looks like a white cast on your face. Whereas this, given that it matches the highlight under your eyes, it looks like a natural highlight on your face. But that's my opinion. That's my opinion. It's my opinion! I don't know why. This has like a natural blurring effect, and it's kind of driving me crazy. Like, not driving me crazy, but I feel like I just look uncanny. Like it's giving uncanny valley. Also, I guess I didn't really talk about the nose contour. I don't really believe in trying to make my, like, okay, if you want to make your nose look smaller, that's fine. But like you can see, I kind of followed my natural nose. Like my nose, I have big nostrils, my nose is wide, like I don't really care. I don't really want it to look like I'm making my nose smaller, but instead just like defining the natural lines in my nose. But that exclamation mark nose contour pisses me off. Love your natural features, ladies. blush time. I'm going in with the e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in the shade the Dusty Rose Day. And then I'm going in with Say Dewy Blush in the color Spicy, which is like this terracotta color. I use both because I like to make sure that my blush marries with my contour. You have the little dark element right here where it meets that contour spot. And then I go in with the lighter blush. And then I do it closer to my temples and then actually on my cheek. This is the Real Techniques 217 brush, just like this. And you can kind of see it has this little like divot, and I feel like perfect for the cheek. I mean, it kind of depends on your face shape. I have like a pretty like round oval face, so I like to pull it up. I know some people like to put it like, if you have a more heart-shaped face, you put it like more on the apples of your cheek, but I feel like that makes me look like, and that's not the vibes. That's not what I'm going for. So now I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty powder. I got the mini shade, and this one is in Banana. I got the mini shade because like when it's the big one, that's overwhelming, and I'm never going to use all of that. Like that will take me 6 years to go through. Using this brush, normally I use a powder puff, but I've lost all of mine. So the next best thing is just using a brush. Now I'm just putting it in my T-zone where I get really oily, going over all the spots that had the most product on them. For me, this gives skin finish because my skin is oily as hell. So when I do matte, I'm like, okay, period. It's giving seamless, it's giving soft. For other people, if they have dry skin and they do a matte finish, it's giving cakey. For me, I'm kind of like an all or nothing kind of girl. If I'm going to put on makeup, it's going to be makeup where you could tell that I have makeup on. Like, not in like a way, but like, I have makeup on, okay, and now what? So if I have makeup on, I want that beat. Like, I want a beat. Even when I bake, I don't feel like it really cinches or does anything. It's not a necessary part of my routine, at least. Your face is gonna crease no matter what. Your face, you move your face, and therefore it's going to crease. Like, there's nothing you can really do about that. So at least when I do my powder, I'm not like, ooh, make sure it doesn't crease. This will ensure it won't crease. It will crease. It will. Now I'm going in with the Fix It Multitasking Setting Spray from MAC. Because with all of the matte and all the powder, sometimes if you don't do the spray to add a little bit more hydration, it looks dry. So, and given I'm not going for the dry look, I'm just going for the not oily look or the not dewy look, I'm gonna put on some setting spray and add some hydration. So this was the Milk Hydro Grip Setting and Refresh Spray. Going in, I'm just gonna take this Makeup by Mario palette. Yeah, she's used, she's loved. And I'm just gonna put a little bit in my crease, kind of be messy with it because I'm using a brown that's pretty close to my skin tone. Now, final finishing touch. You don't have to do this, but this is what I always do. I always love like a little fake cut crease to brighten my eyes because I have big eyes and I like big eyes. Hi, Dookie Hand. Just going in with the lighter shades up top. I'm literally just putting that on my lid. This specific palette, my palette, is old as hell, so the pigment's a little, so I'm going in with, just for more pigment purposes, I'm going in with the top because those are close enough. It does a slightly more neutral finish, but like just for color on my lid. Once again, really defining the crease and really making my eyes look open. And then if the white took over conquistador style, just go back in with the brush. Now I'm gonna do my mascara and lip liner off camera, and then I'll come back and show you the finished look. Okay guys, this is the finished look. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you learned something about doing your base makeup.